Hello, we are talking through the bank register. So in the banking overview, banking center overview, we navigated over to the bank register. Let's do a review of that. So it's sort of in the middle of the screen, very tiny blue text. And you want to make sure before you navigate there that you're in the right account. So you can click those accounts across the top. We have checking. Let's say we want to see the bank register for, let's go to the checking account. And then go to bank register. And this is basically like a checkbook register. So it's just a listing of every single transaction that's happened in the bank feed that you've added. So very important caveat, if you have not added a transaction from the bank feed, then it will not show up in here. So if you're missing a transaction, always check the bank feed first, that for review tab. But as you add transactions, they show up in here. So this is a nice master list of seeing every running transaction in your bank account. It's also there for the, any of the accounts, the credit card, PayPal. So I use this a lot to understand what's happening in my bank account. And you can, of course, see a running balance here. So that's really important. So let's just go through the data that you're seeing on the screen. You're, of course, seeing a date, the date the transaction happened. You're seeing if there's a reference number, like a check number, you'll see that up here in this first line. And also the type, so check, sales receipt, expense. And then under payee, you're seeing the vendor or customer that you either paid to or received money from. And you'll see the account underneath. So what was the type of that transaction? This is travel in this case. You'll see the memo, whatever you put in the memo. And you'll see whether it's a payment, so money out, or if it's a deposit, money in. You will see that in the respective column. And then you see the running balance. So that I find this very helpful to see kind of what's going on with my balance and what is, changing the balance in certain ways. So just a good, screen to look at, especially when you're troubleshooting. Also, what's important in this screen is you can see what's happening with that transaction. So if it has a C and a green square, it has officially cleared the bank. So it's come in from your bank into QuickBooks. It's been categorized, so it's all good. It's cleared. You may also see an R, so we can just sort of manually change this one for example's sake. If you see an R, that means it's been reconciled. So you've gone through the reconciliation process and you've reconciled it. It's cleared within that month and it's been reconciled. So that is also very helpful information. If you're not seeing this little green square, like up here, that means it was a manually created transaction that has not yet matched to the bank feed. So this is the most important thing, I think, especially when you're troubleshooting. And we'll talk more in the next module about troubleshooting. But if it doesn't have this green square and it doesn't have a C, then it was manually created by you or someone else, and it has not yet matched up to a real bank transaction. So that often does happen. There's timing issues. So you've gone in and created your transactions, or maybe you've created some invoice payments or, things like that. Or sometimes with payroll, there are payroll transactions that get created that just haven't hit yet. They haven't actually been initiated or they haven't hit the bank. So you may see some of these and you just want to think through it. Should these be here? Will they be hitting in the next couple of days? So it's just something to kind of think through as you're looking through this screen, but very helpful view. And you can, of course, navigate at the bottom to later dates. But this is your comprehensive list of transactions in your bank account. And last thing I'll mention is just you can navigate to your various accounts here if you want to change the register. So here's our savings account. Hopefully this is helpful for you, and especially with troubleshooting.